I used to think fairness was something families drifted toward naturally, like boats finding the same level on water. No one taught me that some people grow up learning the opposite. That love is allocated with intention, that attention has favorites, that imbalance isn't a mistake but a design choice you're expected to stop noticing. My brother's birthday had been planned for weeks. I knew because the kitchen calendar was crowded with notes written in my mother's looping handwriting. Call chef, confirm lake house, invite friends. Every time I passed it, I saw my brother's name underlined, circled, accented with enthusiasm. He pretended not to care, which only made them care more. The weekend itself was a blur of movement and noise. Coolers dragged across tile. Grocery bags filled with things we didn't normally buy. My father kept checking his phone, coordinating arrivals, boat rentals, parking permits. It was all very efficient. Loving in its own organized way. I didn't go, I said I had work. That part was true enough. When they came back, sunburned and satisfied, the house smelled briefly like grilled fish and expensive cologne. Photos appeared in the family group chat, my brother on the dock, my brother laughing, my brother framed by water and friends and effort. I tapped the heart emoji twice, then put my phone face down. My birthday was 3 days later. There was no calendar note this time. No preparation. I came home in the evening to find a single cupcake on the counter, still in its clear plastic dome, condensation fogging the inside. Vanilla, always vanilla, because no one ever remembered I didn't like it. A card leaned against it. Generic, blue balloons. Maybe next year! Printed cheerfully on the front, like a joke everyone else was in on. My parents were in the living room. The television was on low, some talk show murmuring in the background. My mother looked up first. "Oh," she said. "Happy birthday." She waited. I could feel it, the small pause where a reaction was expected. Gratitude, maybe. Or disappointment they could dismiss. Something that would confirm their version of events. I said nothing. I picked up my phone instead and took a photo of the cupcake. The angle wasn't dramatic. I didn't zoom in. It was just documentation, the way you photograph a parking ticket or a cracked screen. Proof for yourself that something happened. My mother's mouth tightened. Then she smiled, not warmly, not cruelly, but with a practiced ease that made everything my responsibility again. "Don't be so sensitive," she said. That was the moment something finally settled. Not anger, not even sadness. Just clarity. I nodded once as if she'd explained a scheduling conflict instead of a pattern. I put the cupcake back down. I went to my room and closed the door without slamming it. I didn't pack much. A small suitcase. Clothes for a few days. My laptop, passport. When I booked the flight, I chose a destination that required no justification, a city where no one would ask why I was there or how long I planned to stay. The confirmation email arrived with a soft chime that felt louder than it should have. I left the house the way I always did. Keys from the bowl, shoes by the door, no announcement. At the airport everything was neutral and procedural, lines, screens, announcements repeating themselves without urgency. I felt strangely steady, like I'd stepped into a version of myself that already knew how this would go. I didn't tell anyone I'd landed. I checked into a modest hotel near the water and opened the window. The air smelled unfamiliar, which helped. New sounds have a way of interrupting old narratives. That night, my phone buzzed. "Where did you go?" My father texted. No punctuation, no accusation, just confusion. I stared at the message for a long moment. In my mind, I saw him standing in the kitchen, noticing the empty driveway, the untouched cupcake, the absence that couldn't be smoothed over with a comment or a joke. Authority, in our family, had always been quiet, not raised voices but expectations. Schedules, presence, compliance. I typed back of out of town. "I'll be back when I'm back." 3 dots appeared, disappeared. Appeared again. "You didn't say anything," he wrote. I set the phone down without replying. The consequences came in pieces, filtered through silence. A dinner reservation my parents had made, apparently belatedly, had to be cancelled. My aunt called, confused, asking if everything was okay because she'd heard I wasn't home. The family group chat went quiet, then resumed with unrelated updates, as if absence could be edited out by changing the subject. No one demanded I return. No one apologized either. In the days that followed, distance did its work. I walked along the water in the mornings. I answered emails. I ate meals alone without performing enjoyment or restraint. I thought about how often I'd mistaken endurance for maturity, how easily, "don't be sensitive," had replaced accountability. When I finally came back, the house looked the same. It always would. My parents greeted me politely, a little stiffly, as if we were all unsure which rules applied now. The cupcake was gone. No one mentioned my birthday again. But something had shifted. Not dramatically. Not in a way that could be announced or celebrated. I stopped offering explanations. I stopped rearranging myself to fit gaps they pretended not to see. I attended fewer gatherings. I stayed for shorter periods. I let calls go to voicemail and returned them when I felt like it. They noticed. Slowly, uneasily. Power didn't change hands in a single moment. It seeped the way water does, quiet, undeniable, finding every place it was no longer resisted. Love, I learned, doesn't become fair just because you ask nicely. Sometimes the only honest response to unevenness is distance, not as punishment, but as calibration. And for the first time, that felt like enough.